The term military analyst is not a legally protected term. It's not like doctor. It's more like economist. You know, any asshole can start calling themselves one and fart out a vaguely plausible opinion on the current situation.
What pisses me off as an economist, episode 3278, all, not some, all wealth, all of our standards, all, not all, you can say all wealth comes from work, right? You're going to go grow crops, grow crops, not cops, grow crops, make a car, your precious eggs, you know, oh my God, eggs are so expensive. Just don't eat eggs for a while. It comes from human labor, right? Well, don't the chickens lay that? Yeah, but guys got to, you know, humans got to go get it, make the cartons, ship it out, have the checkout lady. All right. All of our standards of living come from work. So riddle me this, riddle me that, you cocksucking boomers. Why the fuck do you make it so hard to work? I know there's human elements of laziness and human nature and evil, but god damn, you baby boomer cocksuckers. Even my generation, gotta go to college. Well, yeah, you know how we took you away from your home at 5 and stuck you in this prison for 13 years until you were a senior? Yeah. Well, you can't work then. Well, why not? Because we didn't teach you anything. You're not educated enough. Okay, what do I got to do? Well, now you have to borrow money to cripple your future finances for another 4 years of you. So your youth is almost gone by this time. And then that'll get your foot in the door. But you got to start at the bottom. You got to put in your dues. You motherfuckers want production or not? Do you want food? Do you want roads? I wonder. See, you can argue that feudalism was a form of slavery, or sharecropping was a form of slavery. And that's a discussion for another time. But at least the lords, the feudal lords knew, hey, get them into the freaking fields, right? Hey, you 14? Start working in the fields. There was production. But goddamn, man, maybe I don't have the life expectancy to fully research and explore everything I want to in terms of economics. But man, I wanna know why do the people in power make it so fucking hard to produce shit? Why do you make it so fucking hard to find a job? And I don't know who needs to hear this, and this is why I put Trump on the title, because he's the president. Maybe Elon Musk, maybe my small to medium-sized internet presence might spark some thoughts, and other people reach out to the congressman, and maybe we might make it differently. But you don't understand, since all production, all standards of living, all comes from labor. Not only do we rely on it today, but if you precious fucking boomers want to see your social security, or like, you know, we can always print off checks. You want to be able to buy something with it. You better start making it a lot easier for not only people today, but younger people today and younger people of tomorrow to find fucking employment. The absurdity, the hoops, and the investment in terms of lost youth people have to pay before you fucking cocksuckers allow people to work for you at wages that don't support a life. And again, conservative, libertarian, Republican over here. All right. I'm not for a minimum wage, but because I'm of the opinion, well, people, and then it's happening now. Thank God. I will hat tip to you Zoomers. You're not paying a living wage? Fuck you. I can't live on it. It's like, to me, it seems like it would just solve it. So I can't live on that. So I'm not going to work for you. And then we can't find people who work for. Have you tried paying them more? It's like telling a woman to lose weight if she wants to find a man. Have you tried paying them more? Have you tried losing weight? I don't care. Fine. Then you're not going to have kids. You're not going to have a man, and you're not going to have an economy. And so to me, just, you know, my little bit, I'm going to imagine you young people would like, you know, I'm pick on the millennials and the Zoomers as you might. I think you guys still to this day are not against work. I know some of you are because you're called Democrats, but I think most of you are like, yeah, I want to work, but Jesus Christ, you had me in school for 17 fucking years, and now I come out and I get paid $17 an hour? Are you kidding me? And I think that the labor market is so, I wouldn't even see over-regulated. Certainly there's regulations we could get rid of, but it is so skewed. And I don't even think it's consciously skewed by the corpos, right? I don't know how we got it, and it doesn't matter how we got here. I have some recommendations that would make it a lot easier for young people to find work and maybe have lives and maybe afford a home and not be financially destitute and crippled or at least stressed like the vast majority. And look, young people are always going to be poor because you haven't had time yet to work up your wealth, get experience, and get a pay raise. But god damn, in America, you make it bordering impossible to get a living wage job. You met fucking 17 years of education if you throw in college, and people still can't. Well, I'll tell you right now, one of them is that a K through 12, the education system, that's not for educating and training young people to have skills or jobs or a trade. That's to enrich teachers and to make future Democrats. It is. No, it's not conspiracy. Why do they teach about white man bad and colonialism and Republican socialism and DEI and ESG and environmentalism and not how to do your taxes or what a balance sheet is? Or here's how you do welding, right? Have you noticed all the education? Oh, they got the reading, writing, arithmetic, but all the other ancillary education is basically leftist propaganda. So we could go through that, but let me go through a couple things. And by the way, this isn't an opinion. I'm right. Donald Trump should listen to me. Elon Musk should listen to me. Republicans should listen to me. Democrats, right? You used to be the party of labor at one time, and now you're just the party of little bitchy trust fund babies. You should listen to me. And corpos should listen to me. Because I'm going to say it again. You are not going to have an economy without future workers. And you're not going to have a good economy unless those workers can afford to live. This is, again, I'm not a socialist. I'm not. But you're not going to have it's like the word government. People think government is this thing unto itself. It's like, no, what's in the word government? The verb govern. What are you governing? The people. Oh, maybe you ought to put the people first, huh? Huh? The people in government and corpos, they think they just exist unto themselves. Like they don't need employees. Like corporations say it, but they say it to lie to get you to take a lower wage. No, you corpos don't understand. Employees aren't your best asset. They're your only fucking asset, assholes. That machine, I don't care how advanced your machine is. It don't run without humans. Yeah. And then who fixes the AI? And who fixes the machine when it breaks down? I think corporations have been, well, there's a debate. There's no such thing. I think you've been over-investing in capital, in machinery, in computers and technology, certainly the AI bubble. And you haven't been investing in humans and in employees and labor enough. And by invest, I don't even, well, they go to school for so long. Yeah, what investment we do put in, which is about inflation, maybe it's 800 billion a year now. It goes to, oh no, I'm sorry. If I recall correctly, it's 600 billion a piece, but 5 years ago, 600 billion goes K through 12, another 600 billion goes into higher education. So let's just call it 1.7 trillion today, every year, adjusting for inflation. Spend 1.7 trillion a year in education. These kids come out with no valuable skills, and you weren't going to hire them and pay them a living wage anyway. So it's not that we're not investing money into it. We're investing the wrong shit into it. We're investing the wrong. Oh, you can major in English in an English-speaking country. We can't find anybody. We got the money. You just got to invest more wisely into education. Because here's the thing. If you don't, like right now, the Big Four is outsourcing a lot of jobs to India and the Philippines. Good luck with that. Let me know how accurate those tax returns are. Because more money, bro. Private equity firms. Oh, we're going to buy it with the leverage, buy it with low interest, and we're going to cut costs, bro, and implement DEI, bro, because it's the new buzzword, bro. And then you wonder after, like, it's not feasible anymore because your product and your quality goes to shit, and you lose all your clients, and then you close up shop. Now, well, technically that would be recessionary. There's less jobs now. Always looking for the cheap shot. You think labor isn't a thing. You think it's just, you think it's just always going to be there. And so maybe this could be a new beginning to, like, oh, maybe we should think about labor a little bit differently. Here's some things that you can do, both corpos and government. Okay. These are things you can do to make it easier for young people to find jobs and for you to have more production. More reliable? Yes, I'm sorry. Just so you know, corpos, I'm sorry. You might have to pay a little bit more for labor. But I know you got a 106 IQ with your MBA from the Carlson School of Dipshit Management. I know you guys are not capable of thinking this, but if you could think past 2 quarters, if you pay your employees more, your turnover might go down. And then you actually save money on labor because they become more skilled and better at their job over time, and they're loyal and they show up on time because you're paying them a living wage. Never thought it'd be like Ralph Nader here arguing for a living wage, but here we are. So here's some things, and mark my words, mark my fucking words. If you don't do this stuff, you don't have to do these exact same things, but if you don't make it easier for younger people to find jobs, you will pay I will, mark my words. Corporate America, as it currently is going to no longer exist. It will start to decay and fall, and it's already happening. You look at the stock prices, look at how much money they're losing. Chappie, it's a recession. No, I think it's mismanagement. Well, that's all recessions is mismanagement. All right, first, eliminate the irrational expectations of education, the irrational standards and requirements of education. There should be no jobs out there unless in a highly skilled profession that requires a 4-year degree. Absolutely not. I understand engineers, maybe accountants, doctors, dentists. I understand that. But this bullshit, bachelor's required, master's preferred. Again, if I was President Cappy, this is what President Cappy would do. And if you think Trump is a fascist, I would be quiet about it, right? I wouldn't tell anyone. I'd hire a bunch of economists. I say, I want you to go find every single corporation in the job postings, find out everyone requiring absurd and unnecessary college degrees. And if it says bachelor's required, master's preferred, I want that put on a special list. And then I'd come in and I'd be like, okay, so here's the deal. Like the Joker would come in, the Heath Ledger Joker he's having the half. I'd bring in all the corpos, right? The president and CEOs. I'd say, here's how it's going to go down. You're going to get rid of these college requirements. You're going to get rid of your HR departments. Your hiring managers are going to hire the people. And if you don't, you're not going to have a corporation next year. You may not have a family next year. I don't know, but right now, this $100 million a year salary you're getting, yeah, it ain't going to be like that next year. It's going to be a lot worse. You will make it easier for regular people. And if I find absurd higher education requirements, just all of a sudden, I don't know, maybe the government takes over your corporation, fires all the management, and then we sell it to the Chinese, who ironically seem to be a little bit better at managing companies nowadays. If you look at the video game industry, you don't want me to be president, trust me. But that would be one thing, is getting rid of unnecessary college education requirements to work. Very closely related to that, I've talked about this at length before. There is a way to make higher education free. We have the internet now, and through self-teaching or autodidactism, where you teach yourself, which is all education at the end of the day, because you have to study and put it to memory yourself. We should have certification tests like the CPA exam. But unlike the CPA exam, and kind of like how California does the bar exam, you don't need a college degree to test for it. I'd go to every industry head. Like after I dealt with the corpos and the CEOs, I'd have every industry, like the Like the CPA Society. I bring them in like, come on in, come on in, come on. Yeah, we got hot dogs. Come on in. Close the door. James Bond villain decree where they're all sitting on chairs where there's sharks swimming beneath them on a glass floor. I'm like, boy, you know what would really help the kids nowadays, not to mention the economy? It'd be great if all the CPA, and I'd have all 50 states because each state has their own CPA board. It'd be really great if all of you right now would agree that having to get a master's degree is an absurd hurdle, especially for young poor people to meet to become a CPA, and that you should really ought to create a CPA exam, which they already have, and you should open it up to anyone who can pass it. I think that's going to be the future. Don't you guys? Don't you all agree? And then some cocky fuck from a cocky fuck New England state. I'm thinking like Rhode Island or Connecticut. That's the most arrogant one. Like, we're not Boston or New York. And he'd mouth off. And then I just lean. There'd be like this map of the United States. I just lean against Connecticut and then boosh. And then the blood would spill into the shark infested waters. And I'm like, and they'd be like, it looks like Connecticut is no longer with us. Do we want to take a vote now? And yeah, blah, blah. And oh my God, then young poor people could take the CPA exam and some of them would pass. And you know what that would allow them to do? It would allow them to not have to go to college at all. You could consume tremendous amounts of college educated material on the internet for free. You could get textbooks. You could teach yourself. And then you'd pass. Now, Trump already has mentioned something like this. He wants to do a federal university that's free, where you can go get real college credits and all that. That's definitely an improvement. That's an improvement. But what it really should, you got to get rid of the requirement to go to college at all. You need to have it that it is skills and knowledge based. And so I've argued that you should pass a law that employers and governments cannot discriminate against knowledge. What I mean by that is you can't discriminate against how it was acquired, right? Because and there's argument it might actually be discriminatory against different races and all that, which is ensconced into the law, not adversarially, adverse impact. Is that someone who's more of a legal scholar can tell me? Where it's like, hey, you're requiring a master's degree. Guess who that hurts? Oh, by the way, the CPA societies are all about DEI and ESG and helping the minorities. Is that why you require a master's degree? Because that negatively, adversely, disproportionately affects minorities, or at least some, not Asians, but Hispanics and blacks, because they don't have as much money. Now, that's a huge hurdle you just put in front of them. So you could say, and then let's say Jerome from the south side of Chicago teaches himself because he can't afford to go to the college or the university, right? But he gets really good at accounting because he self-studied. And then there's whatever, Ernst & Young, PricewaterhouseCoopers, one of those dickless big four go, we can't hire you because you don't have a master's degree. Oh, but it didn't matter. He passed the CPA exam. You cannot discriminate. He's got the knowledge. He's just as effective because he passed the exam. So passing, and then what you would, not a legal scholar, you would pass it. I would almost add it to the Bill of Rights. Every American citizen has the right to have their knowledge treated equally, knowledge treated equally by employers and government. Like, so if you self-taught and you got the skills, they cannot discriminate against you, which would eliminate the need for a college degree in its entirety, unless we're talking something that, like a trade where you had to work on something, chemical engineering, higher end stuff. But like accounting and law, no. Or just the general HR dits. Like, you need a college degree in what? Anything? Which at that point, ladies and gentlemen, I'd go find one of those colleges and universities that like went belly up back in the 2010s and just say, yeah, that's where my business management degree is from. Okay. They lie to you, you can lie to them. All right, here. Now, I know the 50s were bad, right? Because anytime you point out, well, the 50s were pretty, but it was racist. The woman couldn't do the thing. Like, yeah, but you know what? Unemployment was really low. Fashion looked pretty good. Women were hot. And you could find a job and live off of one income. Just me. Just me. But you know what they had in the 50s and before that? I think up to probably about the 80s. They had these things called training programs. And if I was President Supreme, beloved Grand Poobah Supreme for life, Cappy, I would say, yeah, you guys, you're not going to have college education requirements and must hit the ground running, steep learning curve. So with my army of economists who would search job ads, if I found hit the job running, steep learning curve, and then we'd ask like, hey, why you should offer some training programs. And they said, we're not going to train someone for the competition. Those three things, train someone for the competition, steep learning curve, hit the ground running. I'd have another convention. We'd bring all those people in. And then there'd be the Shark Tank and then the glass floor. And I'd be like, oh, welcome back, President Cappy's Economic Council. And then I don't know what would happen to those people, but there sure would be some fat, happy, well-fed sharks. I don't know where those people would go. They just would disappear into the ether. And people say, what happened to those 5,000 people that came to that? I said, I don't know what happened. I gave a speech and I said, goodbye. And then I went and I got a cup of coffee. I came back and they were gone. They were all gone. Who knows what happened to them? And then I bring in, the vice president. I always happened with the James Bond villain guy. He'd bring in the number 2 guy who just saw his boss get axed and fed to a shark. And I'd be like, so I see that you are in agreement that you will have training programs. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right away. Good. Thank you, new president and CEO of IBM. Training program? Have you thought about that? So now the kid don't have to go to school for 4 to 6 years after being in school for 13 fucking years. You train them, right? And then you save it. If you want to be a good corporations, all good corporate citizenship, ESG. Oh, is that why you require 4 to 6 years of debt crippling higher education, but you're not going to train them to do the job? The irony is, I'm very libertarian. I don't want to tell corporations what to do. But man, they're just they overstep a line and start hurting people. It's like, if we're going to have a country, that means we're going to have a community, and there should be some rules. There should be some polite etiquette. And I'll get to it later, but like, you don't outsource the jobs when you can hire an American, right? I would go in and I'd be like, oh, that's a shame you don't have a training program. Huh. I wonder what would happen if I made it so that the highway didn't go past, like trucks don't get to deliver product to your warehouse there because I think that stretch of the interstate needs construction done. We're going to have to shut that down for like 3 years. That'd be I'd be that mafioso asshole. I'd be like, hey, Mr. President and CEO, I see one of your mission critical factories here is right by Interstate 40. But you don't have training programs and you're outsourcing to foreign countries. Wouldn't it be a shame if the Department of Transportation figured out that stretch where the exit is for your place has to be shut down and be under construction for 3 years? That's what I thought. That would really suck for you, wouldn't it? Yeah, you're going to start hiring Americans now and have a training program, right? Because that's what good neighbors do, right? You and I want to be good neighbors, right? That's what I thought. Yeah, I'm glad you're with me, buddy. Then walking out. You don't do it, I'll fucking kill you. Just scare the piss out of these assholes. Just kind of get the FBI to find out where the guy lives. Like, I don't see any changes on the website. Hey, buddy, what happened to that? You're going to have a training program. I don't see a change on your web. Oh, yeah. Just sitting there smoking a cigar on his patio. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, what's up? Yeah. Hey, you see those bulldozers over there? They're going to tear up that fucking interstate right in front of your warehouse. That's what I thought. I knew you were just, you're a busy CEO. I get it. You're really busy. You stand, I'm the president of the United States. I got a busy schedule too. Training programs. Maybe you corporals might want to think about bringing it back. Remote work to the maximum extent possible. I know you boomers. I know Elon Musk is. I understand some work requires people to be there. Tradesmen, maybe you have to say, hey, we got a product testing, something physically demands you to be there. I get that. But if not, no. No. You can do what you want. I don't care what you corpos do, but then don't bitch. We can't find people anymore. Go ahead. I mean, you could be a good corporate citizen. You could help out the environment by requiring less gas. So yeah, you can work wherever you want as long as you get your work done. But Cappy, a lot of employees they can't work from home. Well, then you don't hire those employees. Or if they do, for whatever reason, require that they physically be there, can you make it that they don't have to be there at 8? You must start at 8 and leave at 5. What, right smack dab in the middle of the rush hour? Why can't they come in at 6 and leave at 3? Why can't they come in at 10 and leave at 8? Another thing, although I gotta imagine this is a little bit less because no one's the downtown centers, the skyscrapers are just that market is beautiful economic phenomenon, by the way. I mean, this is like watching a supernova if you're an astronomy type of person. Watching downtown where all the action is, bro, like watching that fucking collapse. Just had an article, St. Paul, the Alliance Bank building is shutting down because there's not enough. You can keep demanding RTO, return to the office, all you want, corpos. Not enough people coming downtown. Buildings, downtown skyscrapers, at least in the Twin Cities, are selling like 90% off. One was like 93% off from their peak. So I don't know if this one is all that important anymore, but I remember working downtown where all the action was, by the way. And I caught the tail end where women were attractive, and maybe you could still ask them out at work, just the tail end of that. But parking, why don't you make it easy? Look, if you're going to require people to commute and suffer traffic, could you at least pay for parking? Could you make it affordable? I had to park way the fuck out. I still had to pay. Like, it was like $3 a day. Hoof it over about a mile to, I have no problem saying Wells Fargo, fuck you. And in the cold, Minnesota cold and all that. And it's, why am I wasting 2 hours walking round trip? Could you, I am shocked the number of I'll say it again. I am shocked at the number of hurdles you put in the way of economic growth. I'm shocked how hard you make it for people to work a fucking job. Fascinating. I know you have profit incentive. I know that's one reason. Hey, if we treat our employees like shit and cut their wages to the bare bone, then we make more profit. At least that quarter you might. You lack the long-term thought, the long-term vision, like, hey, we need reliable employees long-term who become more proficient. And we should probably make it so they can get here easier. I know all you business managers, all you corporate executives, you have a 103 IQ with the tailwind, and you all went to shit piss business education schools like the Carlson School of Management, right? I know you aren't. You are not that smart. That's why you guys have troubles right now. But you seem to understand inventory management. You seem to understand supply chain. We got to get that stuff in here now. We got to do it quick. Why isn't it the same way with the labor? Make it hard for someone to get there, let alone on time. And you won't pay for the parking. So they slip and fall on the ice. Billy didn't show up. Why? I don't know. But that division shut down. We can't do the thing that we were going to do because Billy's kind of a critical employee. Is that why you pay him $15 an hour? Had to hit the ground running. Master's required, bachelor's preferred. Here's an insufferable Kuanta called Karen. She's going to interrogate you about your favorite color and why. For some reason, we gave her all the power. She can like fire anyone and get us sued. I don't know why we gave this insufferable 48-year-old miserable spinster bitch all the power. Well, you know, I'm a 103 IQ guy with an MBA from the Carlson School. Do not ship jobs overseas, or like the H-1B visa thing. Yeah, that would President Cappy would put that on ice right off the bat. But like, nope, we're holding off on that. I understand we want to get the best of the world, and there's maybe some critical shortages, but that would be like very, very rare approval. You will find you are in America. You will find Americans to employ. Oh, no, you might have to pay someone a high wage. That's the last thing American people would want, to work hard in STEM fields with rare skills. Well, how dare they expect high pay? And then if you want to outsource jobs overseas, it'd be President. I see you like India a lot. Well, that's good because you can move there. I will be sending the 5th Army with some tanks to take over your corporate headquarters. Get out of here. And I would, it might take some time, but I'd just be taxing the fuck out of these people. See, President Cappy he'd be a noble Cappy. He would say, all right, we're getting rid of corporate taxes. And that's another thing. You want to help employment? Get rid of corporate taxes. Get rid of all income taxes, including corporate income taxes. Make it so they're not burdened having to figure out all that shit 3 months out of the year for tax season. We have a sales tax everybody pays. It's easier to collect. All right. So it's not like you have to pay taxes somehow. I'm just saying, make it easier for corporations to do so. Make it easier for people to do so. Corporations, no corporate income tax. But I'd have my hand on the lever and it'd go from 0 to 100. And depending on how much corporal fucking bullshit you do, oh, I see you're outsourcing the jobs to a country that is not the United States. And I pull it down to 30%. I'm like, you will pay 30% of your income to the federal government. Oh, I see you have bachelor's required, master's preferred for an entry-level position that does not pay a living wage. 50%. You don't need ESG or DEI or government arms. Just, hey, you behave, you employ Americans, you make it easier for people to get jobs. You got a 0% corporate tax rate. You fuck around. You want to be a dick? Go all the way to 100, baby. And then, yeah, get the fuck out of here because you don't even own your own country by that time. Oh, no, that's notes for a different thing. I would make HR interviews illegal. HR can do benefits compensation. They can do, what's it called? Health insurance. If there's a complaint, fine. I understand that is a role HR needs to have. You are not, if I find out you have some miserable HR Karen spinster bitch asking those, like I would ban all those astrology interviews. If you're an animal, which one would you be and why? There'd be another conference. Oh, hello. It's the meeting of the Karens. Yes, I see you see the sharks. So tell me your new interview process. And then they too would disappear. And I don't know why the sharks are fatter now, but there ain't no more of those stupid fucking interviews with the 24-year-old ditz who knows nothing about your field of profession asking you, if you were ever in a situation, boo boobity bobbity bobbity boo, I'm not hiring you anyway because I don't like your tie. You will have merit-based interview tactics. Look, these girls can't find a guy to save their lives. We ought to, as an economist, I would study HR women because it's disproportionately women. I'd throw the men in there too for intellectual honesty. And I'd look at their love lives. I'd say, well, your job is to pick people, right? Let's see how you pick the most important position in your life, your husband or lover or whatever. My Okay, got it. Gone. I want to know how good you HR gals are at picking your love life. How well is that going? Because if you can't pick that, you're not picking employees. Get the fuck out of here. The insult it is to all for what, 3 generations now of young people now, a little bit older, who busted their ass off from 5 to 22, sometimes 24, sometimes PhDs at 26, to sit there to be interviewed by a 23-year-old child. Where'd your favorite color and why? If you were a zoo animal, which one would it be and why? Let's say you're in the elevator and you really got to get to me. Fuck you. I don't, you do need to hear. I know I have to say, I don't know who needs to hear this. Every HR person needs to hear this. Fuck you. Everyone hates your guts with those stupid fucking interviews. You're vile, worthless fucking people. Like if I would go to the Bureau of Economic Analysis and say, hey, yeah, you know that GDP figure we measure? Yeah, you know how it measures standards of living? I like, yeah, subtract out all of HR. Subtract all the salaries. They don't produce jack fuck all shit. Subtract out social workers too. They don't produce shit. What's our GDP? Ah, shit, it's like $11,000 a year. Oh man, we are that poor. No wonder everyone's pissed off. Yeah, subtract out musicians and artists too. They're not making shit anyways nowadays too. So we'd get rid of HR. Sue, fine, and tax into oblivion any company caught posting fake jobs. If it is found out you are posting fake jobs, I would, not only would the company get punished, I would do an investigation, find who made that decision and who corroborated that decision down the chain. And then we'd have another meeting with sharks. And I'm tired of it bringing in all you corpos in here. I have to meet with Vladimir Putin about Ukraine. But here we are again. The sharks are full. They are not even hungry. Matter of fact, they are sleepy because they've eaten so much. Who here posted the fake job postings? These sharks are too full. We'll deal with you another way. Let's just drag you out in the street and shoot you. That's all it would be. It's just, oh, here we are again. I'm so tired of this. It'd be the first couple of months. Then it'd be done, right? We'd purge the labor market of all the people that get in the way of people having jobs and living wage. And then okay, I'm done with that. President Cappy, do we need the Shark Tank anymore? Nah, let them back down in the ocean. They serve their purpose. What do we do with this big tank in there? I don't know. Hold on a minute. We might find some other people that need to be negotiated with. Yeah, if you're posting fake job postings, everyone involved with that would immediately be brought up on criminal charges of fraud. The company would be sued for criminal charges of fraud. It would also be sued for damages and fines. And then the website that allowed it, we'd have a chat too. It would just, I don't know. By that time, I just like, give me a big ass intimidating Marine. Bring him in here. All right, here we go. This is Brock. He's upset that your platform allowed fake job postings. He's very angry about that. You're not going to do that again, right? Yeah, I thought you'd be a good corporate citizen and help out the American people too. That's why it's so sad is like you're supposed to be in business to help out, well, not just American customers, but global customers, right? The premise of being a company is that you're providing a good service at a fair price. At least that's what it should be. Yes, you're going to maximize your profits long term, but you should make a good product, right? And you'd want to employ, and I know that's very idealistic and people are scum. I understand everyone's late. I get it. But why do I got to put a gun to your head or sharks below your feet for you to just do what is common sense and in the long-term best interests? Why is it so hard for you to make it that people get jobs? And then finally, as I said before, I'd eliminate the corporate tax and then use that more as a punishment or reward lever where it's eliminating it, that would bring a lot of corporate. Now you'd have to say, here's the deal. You are allowed to invest here for free, foreign or domestic corporations. There is no corporate tax. We got sales tax, but we got tax somewhere. We will make it as convenient and get the hell out of your way. So you could go make as much money as quickly as possible, right? We're going to minimize the regulations. We're not going to bother you. We want you to employ a lot of people. But if you fuck us, if we find out you're fucking with us, dumping toxic waste into the lake, doing DEI, having bullshit, any fuckery, boy, that's a nice factory. I think we should keep it here. What happened to the previous CEO? Don't know. You're the new CEO. See, that's fascism. If you're wondering what fascism is, that's kind of a good form of fascism, but that's fascism. Not this shit. Donald Trump is cutting my EBT and welfare. That's not fascism. I would be a fascist dictator, a beloved, magnanimous fascist dictator, but a fascist dictator nonetheless. It would just be, oh, fuck. How hard is it to have a conversation with presidents and CEOs? Like, look, man, suing you, like every corporation wants to cut corners and this, like every corporation is getting sued by everything. Like there's all these lawsuits, right? I just bring them in and we'd have a real conference, one without sharks or the threat of death. And I'd say, here's how it's going to work. I'm going to implore you to make sure that there is real business ethics, not the fake DEI where you hired an affirmative action, black woman with a worthless degree. And like, she's our ethicist or corporate ethics. No, like real fucking ethics. Good products, fair price, quality manufacturing. We can do this based on the trust system and there ain't no lawsuits, right? You're not spending money and resources getting sued for bullshit things, right? We don't have to babysit you. So we're going to try this once, right? Fucking behave. And if you don't, I swear to fucking God, if you think what's happening to you in the courts right now with all these petty lawsuits is in, you're gonna wish for the old times. We got one shot at this. Okay? We're gonna start off on the right foot here, but you fuck me. Have them watch all the Martin Scorsese films. And there you go. Now, my methods would be a little dramatic. Okay. Admittedly, you can't. You could. I mean, you could do the Shark Tank. Be pretty cool if you did, but it'd probably be politically incorrect. But there are some real policies you can put in here. There are real conversations you could have with corporations. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You could pass laws that you can't discriminate against how the knowledge was acquired for many legal reasons. There's some good shit here. And a lot of you corporations might want to sit and think about like, hey, yeah, maybe that might be a better way to get more long-term employees. Maybe if they weren't saddled with $200,000 of student loan debts, they could have a lower wage because they don't have to pay back the student loans. Maybe not requiring ridiculous levels of education from universities that are just fucking these kids over anyway. At least for the first 2 years so they could pay Democrat TAs and professors their worthless tuition for their worthless courses that have nothing to do with the college degree. You're treating all employees, but especially young people, like shit. You're making it impossible for them to find a job. For the love of God, just make it easier for them. And you're not sacrificing any quality of their training or the skills. They're not getting any training and skills anyway. So that's just me. And mark my words. I know this is a foreign concept for you boomers. You will not exist. The country will not exist. The economy won't exist unless you got employees. And for the love of God, just make it easier for these kids to find adequately compensated work. Oh, and by the way, Democrats, if you could not tax people at 40%, and that's what the tax rate is, 38%, look it up, that would help out younger people too. But oh no, but then my stimmy checks and my government give me that. And what am I going to do without my EBT chicken tendies that I put in my armpit? That's another discussion. But just to help out younger people would help if you weren't taxing them at 38% on average. I'm not taxed at 30. Yes, you are. On average, you are. Please. Link below before I get into the super chats for young people. Okay. Now, young people, sit down. This may shock you. I don't think the corpos in the government. Now, I know you may hate Trump, but Trump actually is trying. He's doing some things, right? But I don't think in the next 4 years, unless there's some true and genuine bipartisan leadership where they come together and make it better for younger people. It may shock you to find out that I don't think the Gen X and the boomer leaders of the country are going to do what's right and make it easier for you. I know. I know. They're going to keep on governing and corporating. I know. So you got to take this into your hands and do what you can to make the best of the shitty situation you got. The first thing is to get the book Worthless, The Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major. If you are going to college, you have to make sure that it counts. Please do not go to college for worthless degrees. That's what fucked up the millennials and the Zoomer generation, right? So that's one major mistake you can avoid. If you need more details, it's a $15 book, I think. You might even find it at the library, heaven forbid. Worthless, The Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major. And I got these all linked below. The next one is Zero World Problems. It focuses on new economic goals and objectives and standards of living that you should achieve in a post-materialist world. And what that means is in a non-financial capacity. Yes, you do need to make a certain amount of money. Yes, you do have to pay rent. Yes, you need transportation. These are tremendous economic financial hurdles, especially if you're younger and poor, which most young people are. However, you cripple yourself and you make your life a lot harder going after the things that the adults, whether it's your parents, the teachers, or the corporals, or the media, tells you to go after. And whereas, yes, you need to work to pay rent, you need to work to buy a car, you do not need to work to get an advanced degree at a prestigious liberal arts college for $200,000. You do not need a handbag, ladies and men. You do not need a sports car, bro. If you avoid these unnecessary expenses and instead focus on other things that do not require money, but will also increase your standard of living significantly, you will do much better. And that's why it goes from first world problems to zero world problems. So if you learn to weld, okay, you could be kind of a mechanic and work on your own shit. If you learned, if instead of going night clubbing or getting a master's degree, you pick up some skills in carpentry, and maybe you don't build your entire own house because you don't know how to pour concrete or wire a house, but maybe you frame it and build it, you're saving a lot more money building your own house, right? There are a lot of things you can do that is outside the domain of go to college and then work harder, bro, and then work up your way and then get a master's degree. No. We want to get you off that track and focus on things you could do to tangibly improve your standards of living way more than an MBA from the Carlson School of Management ever will. By the way, the Carlson School of Management is where I went. It is a shit school. Do not send your kids there. Do not go there if you're one of the rare people who actually pay for your own college. I know, crazy. If you don't like reading, I have a course. I offer a lot of courses through Teachable, but the one that would be most germane to this is called Achieving Financial Excellence. It is along the same vein as Zero World Problems, but it's a little more philosophical on focusing on not needing the shit that society says you need. You do not need the sports car. You do not need the 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house in Edina. What do you really need? And what do you really want to do with your life? And once you realize that, I don't want to be a debt slave. Well, that's a choice. You don't have to be a debt slave. And surprise, when you don't have debts and you're not buying stupid shit, financial excellence usually results because you're saving fucking money. Obviously, a little more deep and involved in that, but that's a course that you can take. Achieving Financial Excellence, just search for it on Teachable. Another book, okay? This is a big, thick one, but it will help you identify the lies and the deceit where if you are lied to and deceived, you will piss away at least your time and certainly sometimes your money. A book called How Not to Become a Millennial. It goes through all the lies that the millennials were told, goes through their actions and their mistakes that they made. Admittedly, they were hoodwinked, they were lied to. I admit that. And says, this is how you avoid that and you don't become them. It is also a book for millennials on how to turn their lives around, but you still eating those $30 burgers and you know better with your master's in sociology because I saw how you voted this last election. You still believe the Democrat lies, even though they're the ones who sold you your $140,000 college degree, right? You paid professors, Democrat leftist professors, the 140. You didn't give the 140,000 to the Republican Party, right? You gave it to leftists. Okay, just want to make sure who took your money. The solution is more of leftism, says my professor, who just can't say it. Screwed me over with a device in my a-hole. Rhymes with grapes. And then just to get your overall financial shit together, there is a book called Bachelor Pad Economics. That is the financial advice Bible for men and for women who are bold enough to read it. It goes through all your major and minor financial decisions you're going to make from 14 on. Right? I don't care what your teachers say. I don't care what your professors say. I don't care what the old miserable spinsters on The View say. I don't care what the media says. I don't care what the Young Turks, aren't those? Hey, they're pretty. Hey, John Oliver and Jon Stewart and the Young Turks, the cool, popular hey, kids, more free shit. Yeah, right? Weren't they really cool? They were cool because you saw them on the screen. Oh, yeah, they don't know what they're talking about the entire time. Go read Bachelor Pad Economics and just not be poor. How's that? But they say the thing make me feel good. Good, it makes you feel good. There's still no money in your pocket. That's great. You got no money in your pocket, but you felt good. Oh, okay. Would you like money in your pocket? Would you like to be po no mo, as we say here? Go get Bachelor Pad Economics. Read it and do what's in the book. There you go. So I feel sorry for you younger kids out there because I was there. I know it sucked being lied to. And then you graduate, you're like, where the fuck is my living wage job? Like, you still haven't proven yourself. I'm like, I hope you are alone and miserable in the cheapest of nursing homes. I hope you get Alzheimer's. I'll be like, but yeah, it's just trust me, as a jaded Gen Xer, you need to learn the street rules. You cannot be playing by these rules that lying poppycock pieces of shit are telling you on television and the internets. All right, let's continue on. Elon Musk's filthy jockstrap for $2. Hey, Cappy, what is your specific bicep routine? I just do curls and I do pull-ups where it's the bars are going this way. So it's not this way, it's not this way, it's side. So I do pull-ups, I do curls. And what do I do? Yeah, then I do lat pulls, but that's not the bicep. So that's what I do. And I got okay biceps. I'm at the point where I've honed my workout routine to where it works for me, but I've stagnated now. And aside from just doing more, I'm probably going to hire a coach for a bit and teach me how to lift and technique a little bit. Just get some more like, yeah, okay, you want to do this, but you need to do a different lift or a different pull, or your frame is the wrong way. I just have to have a day without stuff. I'm going to the gym today too. Gonna go try a new coffee store. John Saris, the genius, $5. These things were taught in high school, just not to college-bound students. Applied math 1 through 4 and financial math versus algebra, geometry, and algebra 2. Yes, they were taught. I'm sure somewhere they were taught. Not I don't know if we had applied math. We didn't have financial math. We had algebra, geometry, trig. But they're not teaching it now. Definitely not in the public schools. Nick Corcodilis, €1. He says hello, Nick. Jeremy Rivera, for $5, got plenty of experience with electric systems from the military, but I'm still barred from a bunch of jobs because I didn't get it from exactly. It's exactly. Now, Jeremy, let me ask, how much GDP could you have produced? Right? How much more electric boards could you have fixed? How much more, I don't know, radars or computers, whatever. Right? You didn't go to college. That is such a God. It fucking angers me. I'm not joking. We could easily increase GDP by like 30% like that. Just knock it off with these ridiculous permission slips to work. And then, we got a lot of financial troubles. Guys, if you just unleash the full firepower of this fully operational battle station. If you just allowed the labor to be unleashed, a lot of our problems would go away. A lot. But no, we got for reasons I don't fully understand. I don't know why. I think maybe a lot. I'm not kidding. This is why I hate HR so much. I think a lot of it has to do there with the mentality where disproportionately you girls are like, you're very finicky about who you let in. You got a power tripping. Like, again, middle school and high school never ends. Well, you need a master's degree. Hee hee hee. Hee hee. I get to see them dance. I get to see them apply. I don't know why corporations make it so difficult. I don't. And you know what? At the end of the day, I don't care. I'm going to die. But watch what happens the next 20 years. It seems like a long time. You're going to start to see the decay. You're not going to see these large corporations anymore. They're going to have like maybe an office in the United States, and they won't even have jobs here. They'll just outsource it to India or China, like they've kind of already done. And the quality and the caliber is going to shit. But all that's happening already now. It's happening now. But this whole idea, and young people are starting to wake up to this, especially with people like Josh Fluke, Economics Ethan. Look those guys up. People don't believe in them. I'm going to go work for the corporation. Like corporate America as a culture and a destination, a place to hang your hat and work in, even if it's not one company, but like a field or a career, people aren't doing it anymore. And corporate, if I would go overseas, and also you do not realize how much you need employees, especially skilled, trained employees. You have no, and whatever entity may have been there populating, you think about it, the downtown skyscrapers showed you they were populated with a lot of employees. That's how much commerce was going on. Now, without downtown skyscrapers or the downtown community, you're losing the entity itself. People are now like, why would I go work for downtown corpo? Downtown? What, where all the Democrat street shitters are? I don't want to go where adult Democrats are pooping in the streets and they can attack me and I get arrested if I defend myself. Why would I go there? And so certainly the reputation and the brand of, oh, I'm working Big Four. Oh, I work for Ernst & Young. Who gives a right now? Like, who gives a shit? Who work downtown New York? Well, who gives a shit? Soon it'll all be outsourced. And why would you? Who cares? There's no, in other words, there's going to be no prestige anymore working for those firms. And I'm going to argue, not only is it no longer going to be a prestige, these firms they're going to exist only in brand name, where everything's been outsourced to the lowest bidder possible. Consequently, the quality and caliber of the product is going to fucking suck ass. And just like private equity, like I did a video. Here's what's everything's going to get PF Chang'd. Go watch my video about PF Chang. I mean, it's going to be private equity. Private equity took over PF Chang. I said, oh, that's higher end. That was fancy Chinese food 10 years ago. I went there. I'm like, okay, it's good, but it's not what it used to be. Private equity took it over. Outsourced everything to the lowest bidder, I'm sure, cut, whatever. And now it's not prestigious. It's not anything I look forward to. Back in the day, oh my God, you work at Goldman Sachs. And I'm like, why are you working there? Good for you. You work in the best finance firm ever. At one time, the finance industry was sought after, reputable. Now, were you crazy? You guys needed a bailout. Get the fuck out of here. Paulo H, $10. Heard one time you talk about how 40 hours a week is cruising speed and changed how I see things. Since then, I got a valet gig at this high-end hotel, pulling in an extra 20, 30 hours on top of my flight. Good for you, man. Yeah, this doesn't excuse you from working. But it does mean you still have to go. If you want to make, 40 hours a week, that's what everybody works. And if everybody works it, you can expect what everybody has, an average life. If you work that extra 20, 30 hours a week, not forever, but enough to pay off your student loan debts, save up money for a down payment on the house, that extra, that's significant, extra 50 to 60% effort. Yeah, the money starts adding up. It dramatically increases the quality of your life over time. But notice you're working at a valet service. You're not where, I decided to work part-time at Pete Marwick. I decided to put in extra hours at the office, bro. No, No, you went and just worked a regular old job. They probably are happy to have you. I'll tell you this, the future really is like the trades. Hey, I need a laborer. Go work on the oil fields. Go work for the railroad. This whole go work for white collar corporate America, it's going away. It's going the fuck away. And that's fine. White collar work can be outsourced overseas. Have fun with that. Let us know how it goes. Nonstop Drake, $2 HR, but Cappy is just PhD and 7 years experience required. Remember, they've been busted where they want 5 years experience in software shit that's only been out 3. It just HR, just me, guys. But it'd be great if you had it in your life where you had the skills necessary. You never interviewed with HR. Where you go into the job interview and like, oh, you're going to talk to Becky. Well, who's Becky? Well, she's our HR rep. What am I talking to Becky about? Well, she's going to do a preliminary interview. I'm like, no, she ain't. I'm not interviewing with Becky in HR who doesn't know anything about electrical engineering. Are you a serious corporation or you just don't have the time? Like, you didn't have to call me in here 2 hours early to waste my hour with Becky. You're the hiring manager. What are your questions? Matter of fact, never mind. If you're going to hire HR, I don't want to be here. You're out of here. Shh, boomer. Be quiet. No talkie. No talk. You're not the authority anymore here. You need me. Employees are your best asset. I don't need you. I mow yards for $25 an hour. I saved my money. I built my own house. I don't need you. To the chickens, $5. Force myself to ask 3 women out. I'm convinced we need social hazing squads. What do you mean social hazing squads? Like, I'm very proud that you asked 3 women out. Good for you, man. But what's with the haze? Like, to haze you into doing it? Or did they reject you impolitely and that you need hazing squads to haze them? Or are you saying social hazing squads to make sure people socialize? You kind of lost me in your point here. But I am proud that you asked 3 women out. Even if they said no, that's good, man. That's good to overcome fear and rejection. You know what's funny is after you ask out enough girls, you're gonna realize, oh, that's nothing. Like you're like, I can't believe I was afraid of that. I mean, Dre, $5. Dre found his. Oh my God, everybody! Dre found his wallet. $5. But Cappy, companies and people don't trust each other. How does society function when there's no goodwill? I have a theory called no trust economy. Well, it would start. That's everything I list. You're right. You're right. We have to reset this and have a conversation. Like, look, you want labor and these people want jobs. Why is it so fucking complicated? Why are there so many processes and procedures? I think that would be a good first effort is to eliminate and break down these barriers. I would also say, just as we'd have to have a talking to with corporations and employers, K through 12 and parents would have to educate the child. Hey, show the fuck up on time. We're not doing podcaster time. We're doing, old white dude time. Show the fuck up on time. Like, you're going to do a job. You have to teach people, like, look, we're energy consuming creatures. We need to produce things. You can't just show up on a job and mail it in. There's a lot of education that goes into both the labor, and that's more in terms of ethics and not doing drugs and punctuality. But they can't show up to a company that the first thing they do is lie about job descriptions and say, oh yeah, well, there's been a change and instead of you doing this, we're going to have you do that. Dude, that happened like 5 times to me in my career where they do the bait and switch. So it's like you got a husband and a wife. They both got drunk. They became alcoholics or drug addicts. They both got fat and they're pointing at each other. And it's like, yeah, here's 2 mirrors, point at yourselves, fix this shit, and then maybe get back together. Lose the weight, get rid of the addiction, then get together. But yeah, you're right. Both are legitimized and distrusting the other. That's all I'm trying to do is get rid of the unnecessary hurdles, like get rid of HR, you get rid of college education, replace it with a right to knowledge, and replace it with certification tests. It ain't going to happen. They're going to have to lose so much money, and they're going to lose money. You're going to need it where you don't have this luxury of pursuing a corporate career like you do a college degree where it's like, oh, it's an environment and it's a culture and it's a lifestyle. No, I do great work. You give me the fucking money. Another one I could add here is getting rid of CPE. No, no more CPE. No. Education never ends. Yeah, it fucking does. It certainly fucking does. In Cappy's America, it does. CPE, there'd be another shark conference. Oh my goodness, I see you require 200 hours of CPE every year. Not anymore, you don't. I don't know what happened to your vice president of CPE. She seems to have gone for a swim. We need more Austin. You know what? I'm not a fan of reboots and remakes and all that. I don't know if Mike Myers could do it. If they put on enough makeup or if he lost enough weight. I'd love another Austin Powers movie. Right now, where he's spanking women in the ass like an unashamed um, womanizing, and the girls are having fun, and there's hot girls with boots. We need another Austin Powers. And I don't know if there's a younger Mike Myers might be able to pull it off because he was already gussied up in enough of a costume outfit. You could probably it wouldn't be Indiana Jones. I would love to have another Austin Powers movie. I don't know who you would have for a younger person, though, rebooted. I'd sign up for that. If you could promise me it's the same thing, get a bunch of cameo appearances by different actors and actresses, it'd be a grand old time. It'd be a great old time. Dre, $2. Should companies be required to put the job salary? Yes. Yes. I think so. Well, on second thought, no, because let's say they interview someone and that guy's got some really good skills, and I think employers need flexibility with the salary, because let's say you got someone who's got the really good skills and experience and you want to capture them. Yeah, you can't you can't list the job salary as concrete. You should be able to bid as much as you want for the labor you want. Or there's a younger guy, right? And he's got a lot of potential, but he doesn't have the experience, and you're going to say, okay, so you have the salary lower, but you invest the time and resources into him, into developing him, which I know you corporals don't do. You just say you do, you don't. So as good as that sounds, like fixed pricing for cars, labor is not universally commodified. So you'd have to have I think there should be some negotiation there. Trade $2. How would you measure trust per capita, economist? Well, it wouldn't be on a per capita basis, it'd just be trust. I would use I wouldn't even bother coming up with a new metric. I would look at the corruption's perception index and say that basically is it, because corruption is the antitrust. I'd look at the corruption's perception index. Jason, $5. I recommend Zero World Problems. It's good. Thank you. Random question. What does a typical meal of yours look like? It depends if I'm in Rapid City or Vegas. In Vegas, we eat out more because they actually have restaurants out there. But we've been limiting the restaurants we go to because there's just so many shit restaurants. I will say, though, however, the girlfriend cooks a lot. So when she cooks, it's we'll do tacos with carbless wraps. What else does she make? We'll just have sometimes like burgers with onions and a little bit of cheese on it. Chicken breast with hummus and hot peppers on top of it. And then I can't complain. The woman's cooking. Here you want to talk about first world problems? Here's the zero world problems. The woman just keeps cooking random shit. It's like, can we just stick with? Can we go out to eat? Poor Cappy, his girlfriend cooks for him. But then when we go out to eat, we did do a lot of steakhouses just to try them. And now I'm all staked out. So what do we do? Jimmy John's, because they got the unwich. There's Hawaiian barbecue because they got their keto low carb plate. Thai food, a lot of Thai food because you could get larb, which also doesn't have carbs in it. When we got friends over, we'll go to like your regular old uh, higher end restaurant bar, like BJ's Brew House, which is national. They got a couple in Vegas, and the food is reliably good. Um, but a lot of burgers. She eats a couple more salads than I do. And then in Rapid City, she's just cooking for me here because there ain't no restaurants. If she ain't here or we go out, there's not that many good restaurants. There just isn't. There's a place called Legends in Deadwood Steakhouse, but I get like the elk stew. There's nothing consistent. Really nothing consistent. I go to the Jimmy John's out here too. If I'm feeling sinful, I'll go to Sonic. And yeah, just I guess it's not a lot. It's just whatever I'm in the mood for. But I try to do low carb. Oh, the Millstone. Millstone's very good. Omelets. I eat a lot of omelets. So I do that. Dre, $2 Cappy. Typical meal is soapy pancakes from Perkins. No, I don't go to Perkins anymore. I don't. It's still there. I drive past it all the time. And there's no one in the parking lot. But come on, why are you open? Just close it. Look, hey, Perkins, just close it down, man. Just call it a day. Private equity took it over too. Like it's probably on its third private equity investor. Just close it down. If you're not going to have French silk pie, and I walk in there and the manager says, "What do you want?" I just shut it down, man. Just shut it down. The same thing with Hooters. You're going to have fat, ugly women as the wait staff. Just shut it down. Iron Horse Reviews. Hopefully his health is well. $5. Young people do not interview well. Weak handshakes. They mumble. Can't make eye contact. Exactly. They have to. The husband has to make improvements. The wife needs to make improvements. Dad, they never had, didn't teach them how to interact, I guess. Yeah, you're right. I guess I should link to that below. For you young people that need to you need improvement too. Take my course, also on Teachable. It's called The Dad You Never Had. It's not all about getting jobs, but it's managing life and learning the rules of life that your dad did not teach you. I understand they don't interview well. I'm okay if they don't interview well. I'm okay if they mumble. I'm okay with they don't make eye contact. I care, do they show up on time and do the job? I would not assume these people are not trainable. And I mean, yeah, you'd like them a good firm handshake, look in the eye. It's kind of baby boomer horseshit, though. Like, are you showing up on time? I don't care if you're quiet and shy. That's cool. I don't care if you got purple hair. Did you show up and do the job right? You could see that at baristas. I go to a lot of coffee shops because I don't drink no more. And you know what? There's a lot of shy, bashful girls. Some have weird hair color. You know what? So I've seen no correlation between their weirdness or their social awkwardness and the quality of the drink that I get. It's kind of all over the place. And sometimes the gal looks like a freak, does a really good job. Person with the tattoos does a really good job. The normal person fucks up my order. These may have correlations with job performance. But you know what? I think what would really help them is adequate job training. That's what I think would help. Dre, $2. Cappy does his workouts at a better when. No, I don't. Jeez, man. I go to the gym and I hike in the hills. I have never, nor will I ever do that. Ever. Atham Eldecchio at $2. AI will replace accountants. By the way, AI equals all Indians. Good one, Atham. AI will replace some things. I am so not worried about it. And I'm not worried about jobs being outsourced overseas. Apple is like recent. They went to China. They had a good 20-year run. Now they're starting to realize, oh shit, communists, actual fascists is what they are. Fascist economy, fascist politics and economics. Oh my God. Now they're going to India. That's fine. When you want people are going to have, I might see in my life where it's like, no, I want a native English speaker speaking English on the help service. A lot of people are just going to be backing off like, no, I'm not dealing with it. I don't need that product. I don't need that service. and not that I wish the people of India ill will. And yeah, if you could get jobs and foreign investment, absolutely. But if the quality ain't there, it's not going to last forever. Dre, $2. Cappy does his leg day workout dog shelters. Dre, you're in rare form today, I see. Dre, $2. Cappy has strong needs, back and throat. Big Mike. Here we go. Sam Whiskey, most American name in America, $2. Cappy, HR wants you to smile at the interview. Dude, when I went to that bank, which is not that far away, it's in Rapid City. They give me the job offer, and the next day they're like, we have some concerns. You weren't smiling enough at the interview. And that's after I got into town at 4 a.m. because I drove through the world's worst snowstorm and didn't end up in a ditch. I'm like, yeah, I'm not interested in the job anymore. And then the backpedaling that came afterwards. Fuck you. Shaun of the Dead, $2. F500 like CV. Oh, Fortune 500 like CVX are laying off U.S. engineers to India. What's CVX? Well, and they can, because another company, CVX. Yes, leave the site. Oh, Chevron. If they want to go ahead and do that, that's fine. I mean, it's not fine in my opinion, but you go ahead. I'll pit American engineers against Indian engineers every day. Sure, there's some bad American engineers and there's some superior Indian engineers, right? But I'll pit it against that. I'll bet on the American engineers. Stellantis tried that. They got rid. I think they fired 600 auto engineers and they hired a bunch of Brazilian and maybe it was Indian or some second world. Surprise! Didn't work out too. Go ahead. Go right ahead. See what happens. I can understand though Chevron a little bit because it's global. They're an oil company. So, okay, yeah, if we can get the quality of work we need in India, all right, let's go there. But if you're like the big four, like, no. You go, hey, you know what? Set up shop in the Caymans. Go. Just because that is exactly what's going to end up happening. It'll be a shell company in a low tax area. They'll have offices all around the globe. They'll have their accounting done by, well, I guess if they're global, they're going to have to hit all the major language categories, English, China. So they'll go to the Philippines or India where English is the cheapest labor. China, I guess it's pretty cheap there to begin with. Spain, I guess they go to Mexico or whatever, or Spanish. I mean, they'd have Mexico or South America do that's fine. Let me know how the quality of your product works out. And then it's just like, oh, I'm going to go. What company are you going to work for? Oh, I got a job over at Pete Marwick. Where? At their strip mall office over off the highway? Do you remember when Chase Manhattan was like a big deal, Chase Bank? And now it's just like they got little shit. They remind me of glass biffies. That's basically all Chase Manhattan's banks are now. Their branch offices are glass biffies. It's not prestigious. Oh, Chase. Oh, my goodness. Chase. No, you got your glass biffy bank branches. Good for you. John Saris, a genius, $5. It's Sanguina. Well, then, wait, is that your real last name, though? Sanguinus. I'm going to call you John. Has anyone considered the economy is being sabotaged on purpose? Literally everything mentioned here today, deliberate. No, I don't. It doesn't. The Soviets and communists deliberately intervened in media and academia. You can see that through the Frankfurt School, through academia. You look at professors, they're just rabid Marxists. They don't work real jobs. I think it is truly the small dick energy of middle school and high school to be popular. And everyone want to LARP as an actual business leader than actually do the hard work. Like getting into corporate America is like the thing. I got my corner office. I'm making sales, bro. I think that has infected corporate America to where everything is just to be popular and have an image and a status, not actually, hey, can we make some fucking widgets? High quality widgets at a good price, right? For example, a good businessman would be Warren Buffett. He's not like flashing cash and bullshit. He's like, no, we got to do the right thing and let's do that. Right now, it's a lifestyle first, and then, girl bossing is a lifestyle first, production, profit, quality product second. You could argue the DEI was done on purpose and the ESG, that is socialist, that is communist, trying to infiltrate the private sector, but it ruined the products as socialism and communism does. Then no one wants it. And now the corporals are like, oh, can't do a popular thing now. So I don't think some minor aspects is deliberate. Uh, but it's the classic don't chalk up to malice that can be explained by stupidity. I'm not joking. Corporate leaders are 103 IQ MBA dude bros who come from the shit Carlson School of Management. Not all, of course. They're not that bright, dude. Build up to the housing bubble was like that. These American corporate leaders are not that smart. They get ahead because they conform. They do not perform. Kind of like the Peter principle. So I don't. Everything is adequately explained by human arrogance and laziness, whether you're a girl boss or a dude bro. JJ, $5. The HR Fem Mafia and their orbiters are blocking jobs for non-left and non-left appearing for wait, the HR Fem Mafia and their orbiters are blocking jobs for non-left. Oh, they're blocking it for the right-leaning people. Yes. That's fine. And then you can have the results that Disney and the video game industry and Bud Light and all that is having right now. I don't care if see, I told you, corporations in their current state are going to die out. They are going to be shells of their former selves. Target's a perfect example of that. And that's fine. If you want to hire people based on politics and not their competency, by all means, go ahead. You will fail. You will lose sales. That's perfectly all right, but I don't care. But you're right. And this is even more the point why young people should avoid working for corporate America, because you may not have the right politics. And it's just easier to go and like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to build my own house. Why would I work, keep 60% of my income, and with the remaining money build a house when I could just like go learn to become an electrician, do it myself, do my own labor, fix my own car? The corporations are becoming untenable. These are not places and they don't even pay enough to live to work. So fuck you. Goodbye. We can't find people. That's a you problem. And you are seeing a lot of people migrating, like Raymond, Thoughts and Minds. Go look at what he's done. Subscribe to his channel. He dropped out of corpo. Economics Ethan, the same thing. On the side, they do content and it pays for them. They have successful channels. But then I don't know what Ethan does, but I know Ray is a carpenter. He helps his dad. He built his own, or he fixed up his own house. He has rental property. Just working directly for themselves. Like you're not working for the man, you're working for yourself. And a lot of that is in that book, Zero World Problems. Like, why would you go work to have 40% of your income taken away, and then the residual, that same amount of time, you could have actually just built the foundation to your home. And for every second of your life, you got compensated a second of production. Why lose 40% of your labor to taxes? That's the future. And why would you go through the mental nightmare it is with HR Karens and dude bros and dick suck and the fucking value system of popularity that was ensconced in middle school and no one grew the fuck up out of anyway? That's all corporate America is. And you could tell because you could tell. You want to know why? Because they want to bring you back. Bro, you just couldn't hack it, bro. Bro, look at my car, bro. Look at item I bought, bro. We're going to go down to the bar, bro, and get you too square, bro. I guess I am too square. Yeah, you're right. I'm just gonna go hiking today. Cyberbully, $5. One annoying thing is how fast the value of certain skill sets come and go. Spent 6 years building a data science skill set, and now it's not as valuable. Yeah, no, the technology is advancing rather quickly. It had its day. It's not completely worthless, but now we're like, I'm big on the trades. Not even if you get a job, just because you can do your own shit. It's really going to come down to the point like, yeah, man, I build my own house, I grow my own food. I'm totally off grid. Go fuck your system. Dre, $2. Austin Powers is great. No modern reboots is needed. I know, but if there was going to be one and they were to do it right, James Bond had several actors, right? And it succeeded from one actor to the next. Why can't we have Austin Powers? Oh, that's right. It's too much fun. Pissed off, angry, liberal white woman would be upset. And we can't have that now, can we? How dare they have sand in their hoo-haws? Sam Whiskey, $2. Austin Powers, the college who shagged me. Oh, dude, wouldn't that be on the nose? Where he goes in and just starts banging the professors and the girls. Fastania, $10 generous dollars. As a native engineer, been my experience that foreign engineers are good at analyzing stuff, the heavy duty math, but native engineers are really good at coming up with new ideas, trying new things. Okay. Either or, make the money. But if you're in America, you're hiring American engineers. If you're in India, hire Indian engineers. I wouldn't see. I mean, think about that. Like, let's say India, we start outsourcing our engineers to Pakistan, which they wouldn't because India and Pakistan don't like each other. But let's just say they did. I'd be like, why are you doing that? Like, don't you owe something, like a little bit of allegiance to your fellow Indian man? Nonstop Dre, $2. Woke Assassin Creed Shout comes out this. I know. Isn't it going to be glorious? Isn't that, the video game is going to be very entertaining. Not because you're going to play it, but you're just going to see this thing fucking suck. Doesn't Shit Brown and the Seven Portlanders come out as well this week? Isn't Rachel Ziegler's Snow White coming out? Those two products right there are going to provide a ton of entertainment without us having to give them a penny. I want to thank Ubisoft and Disney for creating these products to entertain us for the next month as we just watch you guys fucking fail with your racist, sexist horse shit. That's fun. Let's see it. Woo-hoo-hoo. Giggity. Can't wait to watch the numbers roll in. Dre again, $2. Holly Woke should make Austin Powers a black one. No. Hey, they did have they had a soul sister in there. Who was the actress? I forgot. It worked though, because it was in the 70s. You could do it. Who would make a good Austin Powers, right? Michael Myers doesn't want to do. Who's fun? Who could pull it off? I guess it'd have to be a British actor. I don't know if there's any British actors that are as fun as Michael Myers. That's the thing. There's no one fun anymore. There's no funny people, let alone with a British accent, although Mike Myers, wasn't he Canadian? I don't know. Who could we have? Man, that's right. There's out on the planet, there's obviously a talented individual who could pull it off, but we wouldn't know who it is because Hollywood's just gone so shit. We don't have the funny, Dana Carvey, Mike Myers. Who would we have for Austin Powers? Everything's there. We just need the right guy. We need the right guy. Ralph Fiennes, and then you get the older British actors, how they had Michael Caine come in as Austin's dad. You could pull that off. Henry Cavill could get in there. I mean, it'd be a good old time, man. And then the gal would have to be Sydney Sweeney. She's got to be the love interest. She has to be the main girl. Dre, $2. Can't wait for It's a Gundam review of AC show. Oh, God, that's going to be good. It's going to be good. All right, there we go. We've gone way too long. Links down to all the stuff below. Thank you for all the super chats. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.